A recent survey found that more than half of Americans, some 56%, say they live paycheck to paycheck, meaning once they pay their bills, there's nothing left to invest in the future or do anything extra with. There are ways to deal with that, and here to talk about it now is Jon Paradise from Town Country Federal Credit Union. Jon, what does it mean when you're living paycheck to paycheck? How do you get by?
Well, it just means you're constantly in the cycle of stress regarding finances. And, stress when it comes to finances can lead to so many other issues that affect all parts of your life. So if you can kind of get out of that cycle, it's going to be better for you financially, of course, and also better for you mentally. And I think what it really means is, you are really struggling essentially every pay period. So you've got to break that cycle, and the faster you can do it, the better off you'll be in the long term and the short term.
So let's talk about a few strategies you can try. One, it seems obvious, but of course it's not a simple thing, but it means spend less than you earn.
Yeah, you're right. It does seem obvious, and it seems kind of a simple concept. And in a lot of ways it is. You've got to assess what your budget is, what you've got coming in, and more importantly, what you've got going out. And you've got to make some tweaks. Some of those at times will be painful and in the short term. Long term, I think you'll be fine, but in the short term, there may be some pain taking out some of those things you really particularly enjoy. It doesn't mean you have to eliminate them altogether, but reduce them and make sure you get on a track where you have more money coming in than you have going out.
And a little self-reflection is not a bad thing either. And what we're talking about here is understand your own personality and what you are passionate about.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, people spend to fulfill something in them that maybe is missing. And, I think the more they spend, the better off they think they'll feel. And a lot of times it gets into that vicious cycle. So I think importantly, find something you're passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about hiking or swimming or walking or some sort of exercise. Well, a lot of those things are free or very low money. So if you can find something that you're passionate about, it can really change your mindset. Look at the glass half full instead of half empty. And it will also fill that void where you have to just spend your way out of, the doldrums, so to speak, because, ultimately, if you're searching for the pot of gold, you never find it.
It's also a good idea to develop the habit of saving, even if it's just a little bit a week, for example.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, Pat, and, it still rings true here. Don't set a goal of trying to save $100 a month or $100 a pay period if you can't afford that. If you set aside 5 or 10, start small, start with a goal that you can achieve. Because if you say, I'm going to save $100 every pay period, and going into it, that's not something you're going to be able to achieve, you failed before you even start. So start small, put some money away, and then it can grow over time for sure.
And another good objective you can set for yourself is to do whatever you can to pay down your debt.
Yeah, take a look at what types of interest rate you're paying, especially on credit cards. There are a lot of high interest credit cards out there. Maybe consolidate it into certainly a lower interest rate and payment and terms that will more appropriately fit your budget and can really set you up and position you to pay off that debt and put you in a much better position financially down the road.
And finally, what should you do if you find yourself getting a raise? And of course, the first impulse might be to just spend that.
Well, it doesn't mean you can't, celebrate a little bit, maybe with, some sort of small, quiet dinner, or maybe give yourself a little reward. But the best thing to do is forget it. It's like that old infomercial, set it and forget it. It's kind of what you should do with your raise. Act as if financially you didn't get it. So it will help you accumulate money in your 401k, in your savings account, and it will really position you long-term, and that will be the ultimate reward.
It's money you won't miss right now, but you'll be glad to have it later on.
Absolutely.
All right, Jon Paradise from Town Country Federal Credit Union. Good advice as always. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Pat. Always good to see you.